Limitless. Upgrade your brain, learn anything faster, and unlock your exceptional life by Jim Kwik. In the world of digital convenience, we must question, is this digital revolution truly a blessing, or could it possibly be a curse in disguise? The complexities of this question may seem staggering, yet it is an important question we must pursue. Yes, the world of smartphones and tablets, these powerful devices, they feel liberating, do they not? They serve as digital extensions of our minds, taking on the burden of memory and simple calculations. Seems like a dream come true, right? But let us dig deeper, my friends. A wave of research suggests that this reliance on digital aids is becoming an escalating concern. There are studies which indicate that it may be disrupting our mental prowess. Just consider the relentless cycle we indulge in, from working to peeking at notifications to firing off rapid texts. Dr. Daniel J. Levitin, a renowned neuroscientist, proposes that such a perpetual cycle causes our brain to consume its energy rapidly, leading to states of stress and fatigue. Indeed, digital technology simplifies our lives, but it may be silently eroding our capacity to learn. With the ever-accessible wealth of information at our fingertips, it is no revelation that today's average person ingests information threefold compared to the average individual in the 1960s. However, gorging ourselves in this abundant information may not be as beneficial as we think. Dependence on immediate access to facts can cause our memory to wilt, like an unused muscle. Conversely, the deliberate act of recalling information is akin to exercising our brain, fortifying and creating robust memories. Over-reliance on technology may also curtail your ability to think critically. Certainly, the digital world is awash with diverse opinions. Some argue that this is advantageous, providing us with lots of perspectives on a lot of issues. Yet, the stark reality is, most of us do not actively seek out these varied viewpoints. Instead, we gravitate towards a select few sources that resonate with our existing views, using these to reinforce our already existing beliefs. In doing so, we unknowingly accept prepackaged perspectives from others, which weakens our own problem-solving and deductive abilities, leading to a decline in our ability to think critically. Therefore, nurturing your cognitive health is of paramount importance. A straightforward strategy, particularly suited to our digitally saturated era, is to allocate 30 minutes each day to a digital detox, with all your devices switched off. Utilize this time to unwind, unleash your creativity, and let your mind roam free. And if you find yourself consumed by your devices, is there a risk that this will alter you and your brain permanently? Perhaps not. Our brains are remarkably resilient and adaptable, an enlightening realization we will now explore. Every single one of us carries within us an unparalleled strength, the power to transform our own minds. How often have you found yourself stuck in a whirlpool of self-doubt, thinking, I lack the intellect to grasp another language, or my memory is now frail, or this subject is just beyond my capabilities? When we measure ourselves against others, we inadvertently trap ourselves in a web of comparison and self-criticism, dampening our brilliance. But understand this, you may not be content with your accomplishments today, yet that does not shame you to mediocrity tomorrow. Your mind, your brain is a marvel of change. It is rich in neuroplasticity, a term coined by scientists to highlight its transformative capacity. Your brain evolves, expands, and adapts throughout your life. People often fall prey to the misconception that our brains peak during our youthful years, and it is all a downhill journey from there. Thankfully, a wealth of evidence begs to differ. Take, for instance, the taxi drivers of London. To secure a license, they have to navigate a maze of learning, culminating in a strenuously challenging exam. An aspiring driver invests 3 to 4 years in memorizing an astounding 25,000 streets in a mere 10-kilometer radius of London. This intensive learning leaves a profound imprint on their brains. Studies juxtapose these taxi drivers with ordinary individuals, revealing that these cabbies have more gray matter in the regions of their brains linked to memory. This rigorous process of mastering thousands of streets coaxes their brains to forge new neural pathways. It alters the structure of their brains, even expanding them in size. What does this signify for you and I? It means that we all have the potential to engineer similar transformations in our minds. But before we proceed, we must rid ourselves of what I refer to as fable traps. Fable, fictional assumptions blocking limitless empowerment. One of the most insidious fable traps we fall into is the belief that our intelligence quotient, or IQ, is a permanent fixture. The truth, however, is far from it. Yes, your IQ scores may appear stable over time, but these scores are not an accurate gauge of your learning ability. They do not reflect your actual intelligence, which can and does evolve and flourish over time. This fable trap, this concept of a rigid IQ, is both restrictive and disheartening. Every single one of us has the potential to unlock the genius within us. We often just lack the conviction to acknowledge it. Therefore, perhaps it is time to shed these fable traps and adopt a more positive mindset. Embrace your power to change, to grow, to transform, and to unleash the limitless potential that resides within you. Liberate your consciousness from the grip of negativity and invite a surge of uplifting thoughts. Each waking moment, our minds generate a whirlwind of ideas, reflections, questions that are numerous, repetitive, and unending. Amidst this swarm, we all possess distinctive questions that echo more frequently in our minds. Consider this. The writer had the opportunity to share time with a renowned actor during a film shoot in Toronto. Amidst a cold winter, the team labored from dusk till dawn. On a break, the actor and writer discovered the actor's recurrent question: how can I sprinkle a little more magic into this moment? True to this question, the actor chose not to rest. Instead, he spread warmth by sharing hot chocolate and smiles, uplifting everyone on set. Now that is the power of a positive question. Now it is your turn. What dominant questions inhabit your mind? Are they serving you, or do they hinder your growth? Regrettably, most of us harbor disempowering questions like, how can I make other people appreciate me? Or, how can I fade into the background? These questions do not nourish your growth. They merely veil your true self. Consider reframing these questions into powerful ones. Everyone's empowering questions will be unique. For the writer, the questions are, how can I enhance this? And how can I master the inner workings of my mind? Such questions cultivate positivity, fostering a limitless mindset that serves your well-being. Research indicates that optimistic individuals are 13% less susceptible to heart diseases or mental lows. So, the next time you catch yourself using phrases like, I can't, or I am not, or I don't, turn that around. Affirm to yourself, I may not have been excellent at this in the past, but that does not mean I cannot master it now. Recall instances where you tasted success, even if just partially. These strategies help you to combat the inner critic within you. You could even personify this critic, assigning it amusing characteristics and a goofy name. Ridicule it when it attempts to pull you down, and learn to distinguish it from your authentic self. Embrace positivity, and you will awaken your mind to life's joys and the boundless opportunities it presents. Fuel the fires of your motivation by establishing your identity and your life's mission. The terms passion and mission are frequently swapped out for one another. They are often used to describe the spark that lights us up from the inside, something that we adore doing above everything else. Yet, passion and mission are distinct in essence. Passion is an internal drive. It dwells deep within you, often buried beneath societal expectations. Your mission, conversely, is outward focused. Your mission is something you can give or provide to the world. Consider this, for instance. You may harbor a passion for the art of basket weaving, but perhaps your mission lies in imparting this skill of basket weaving to others. This might seem a little complex, but if you are seeking boundless motivation and vigor, it is pivotal to discover your passion and employ it in the quest to uncover your mission. Propel yourself to transform your behavior by defining who you are and what your life's mission is. Now, let us delve into a real-life scenario. Picture a robust 75-year-old. Each day, this 75-year-old rises at the break of dawn to hit the gym. Why, you may wonder? Is it his passion for early mornings or weightlifting? Not quite. He does it because he perceives a mission in it, and that mission is to remain fit and energetic to keep pace with his grandchildren. So, what is the takeaway for you? Think about the times you have wrestled with the lack of motivation to carry out tasks. Maybe you should ponder the reasons for wanting to accomplish these tasks to begin with. If the answer is intertwined with your mission, you will find a higher level of motivation to act. There is another secret to enhancing motivation. Contemplate on who you are and what characterizes you. The responses to these questions can be powerful catalysts for change in your behavior. Kwik presents some research which was conducted at Stanford University. The psychologists split the participants into two groups. One group was questioned, "How significant is it for you to cast your vote?" The question posed to the other group had a slight variation. How significant is it for you to be a voter? The group questioned about being a voter showed a 13% greater inclination to participate in elections. What insight does this impart? It seems that if you associate your identity with a goal you are striving to accomplish, or a habit you are trying to form, your motivation intensifies. While this response may sound inspiring, it is still not the full picture. If you are lacking motivation, there might be other underlying factors. Energize your mind by guaranteeing ample sleep, ingesting nutritious foods, and participating in regular physical activity. You have a potent purpose and an unwavering motivation to act. Yet, there is an unseen force that could potentially stall your progress. This invisible barrier, it is simply a shortage of energy, which can stem from consuming unhealthy foods or a lack of sleep and rest. A shortage of sleep is linked with a lengthy array of physical and mental complications. These complications include depression, irritability, cardiovascular ailments, and even degenerative brain disorders such as Alzheimer's. In essence, do not forfeit your sleep. Quality sleep, balanced nutrition, and consistent exercise are all vital if you desire your mind to operate at its peak performance. Energize your mind by guaranteeing ample sleep, ingesting nutritious foods, and participating in regular physical activity. At the outset, sleep and exercise might seem like chalk and cheese. However, they are intrinsically linked. Consistent physical activity can significantly enhance your sleep quality. After a 16-week investigation into how aerobic exercise influences sleep, participants who exercised regularly found they were sleeping more soundly and longer each night. More specifically, they gained an extra 75 minutes of sleep every night. The importance of exercise is no breaking news. So why do we often neglect it? We seemingly have an infinite list of excuses to not do it. Lifting weights is boring. It's dull. There's no time. Those gym memberships, they're expensive. Yet the reality is that the advantages of regular exercise eclipse all of these potential excuses. And these advantages are not restricted to developing physical strength or shedding excess weight. They also stimulate your mind. Regular aerobic exercise can amplify the size of your hippocampus, the command center of your brain for memory and learning. So, your mind craves ample sleep and regular exercise. Is there anything else? Absolutely. There is another extremely important ingredient: nutrient-rich food. As per neuroscientist and nutritionalist Dr. Lisa Mosconi, there are 45 unique nutrient sources beneficial for brain health. The cream of the crop include avocados, blueberries, broccoli, dark chocolate, eggs, leafy greens, salmon, turmeric, walnuts, and water. Sleep, exercise, and nutritious food. How can you ensure that you consistently provide your body and mind with these essential components? The answer lies in persistence. Forming a habit can take anywhere between 18 to 254 days. But remember, no matter how long it takes, you are capable of achieving it. Start by implementing just one minor alteration at a time, and gradually but persistently, that new habit will embed itself into the fabric of your daily routine. You have the power to make a positive change in your life, and that journey starts today. Let us embark on it together. Elevate your productivity by leveraging the power of deep immersion and embracing the strength of incremental progress. Have you ever been so engrossed in an activity that time appeared to just dissolve? It is quite likely you were captivated by a psychological phenomenon recognized as flow. When we are in this state, the task at hand feels almost effortless, as if it was flowing with ease. We view it as a challenge, but not an overwhelming one. We experience a sensation of comfort and satisfaction from the task we are engaged in. One of the most exceptional facets of flow is that it can enhance our productivity considerably, even up to an astounding 500%. Imagine that. Amplify your productivity by leveraging the power of deep immersion and embracing the strength of incremental progression. So, how do you tap into this flow state? It commences by creating a space devoid of interruptions. It is impossible to spark flow if you are incessantly scrolling through social media or being interrupted. Indeed, research indicates that once disrupted, it may require as much as 20 minutes to refocus on your task. Thus, you must ensure a sufficient amount of time for the task. Aim to allocate at least 90 minutes, with 2 hours being optimal duration. And resist the temptation of handling multiple tasks simultaneously. Researchers have found that multitasking can actually reduce your productivity. The feeling of being in the flow is exceptional. However, not all tasks are conducive to this state. Often, they are either too complicated or simply not pleasurable at all. So, what approach should you adopt in these instances? Here, a different strategy comes to the forefront. the methodology of incremental steps. Demanding or tedious tasks can trigger procrastination. Yet, delaying action has a deep psychological impact. An unfinished task creates a tension within your mind, a persistent gnawing until the task is accomplished. But that is not all. Procrastination often ignites feelings of guilt and embarrassment. And guess how people typically react to these uncomfortable emotions? They procrastinate even more. Nevertheless, you can obliterate your propensity to procrastinate by taking small, manageable steps towards task completion. Let us assume you are anxious about composing a lengthy speech. You could reassure yourself that you do not need to write the entire piece in one go. You will merely formulate the keynote first. And who knows, while you are assembling the keynote, you might find that you are on a productive spree, ending up achieving much more than you had originally planned. By breaking down tasks in this manner, you significantly increase the probability of task completion. It is all about embracing the power within you, harnessing the energy, and propelling yourself forward, one small step at a time. Harness your learning power effectively. How, you may wonder, does Bach influence your study regimen? If you find yourself befuddled, do not fret. The connection is indeed not immediately discernible. But studies upon studies have demonstrated a close-knit connection between certain types of music and emotional states and learning abilities. Certain genres of music, particularly those pulsating at a tempo of 50 to 80 beats per minute, serve as a fantastic conduit for cultivating concentration. Music, then, is one of the numerous hacks that can help us tap into the untapped capacities of our brain, enhancing the learning process. Just as music does, so does aroma possess the power to augment our study skills. Smells have a knack for reviving memories. Ponder on just how the fragrance of a specific spice instantly transports you back to the kitchen of your dear grandmother. This association underscores the potent ability of smells to catapult memories to the forefront of your consciousness. Knowing this, why not experiment with aromas during your next study session? Use a dab of essential oil on your wrist while learning. Then repeat the process right before your test or presentation. The scent might very well serve as a catalyst, reigniting your memory. Several other strategies can facilitate your learning journey. For instance, employing the principles of primacy and recency can be hugely beneficial. Information at the onset of a learning session or right towards the end tends to endure in your memory much better. With this knowledge, you might wish to tailor your study plan, strategically placing critical components at the start and end of each study period, reserving the middle for less important information. For optimal leverage of primacy and recency, engage the Pomodoro technique. This method encourages dividing your study or work into 25-minute productive segments known as Pomodoros, each followed by a 5-minute break. It is as straightforward as setting up a timer. Pomodoros become even more powerful when coupled with the technique of active recall. This entails reviewing a chunk of material and then promptly verifying its absorption. To accomplish this, simply shut your book or pause your learning material and jot down everything you have learned so far. Upon reaching the end of a lesson, the journey is not quite over. Yet another tool awaits you: spaced repetition. This technique promotes reviewing your material at regular intervals. Perhaps indulge in a study session in the early morning before breakfast, and repeat in the evening before dinner. This practice facilitates embedding the information deep within your mind. Harness the power of the mind's eye. Supercharge your concentration and memory. Let us explore how mental picturing can amplify your focus and memory. Think of concentration as a muscle. It strengthens and grows each time you flex it. Let us hone this muscle. Imagine the focal point of your attention as a radiant sphere of light. Let us say you are engaged in a conversation. That conversation turns into a glowing orb. Once your mind starts to wander, pull it back to this radiant ball of light in front of you. Imagine that nothing else exists. This is what we call visualization. These mental gymnastics boost your focus, and they are particularly useful when it comes to memorizing things. Many of us categorize our memories as either good or bad. However, it is more accurate to consider them as trained or untrained. So, how do we coach our memory? The key lies in connecting words, numbers, or any piece of information you need to remember with vivid imagery. Wondering how it works? Let us delve into an example. Imagine this list of words: fire hydrant, balloon, battery, barrel, board, and diamond. To memorize these, you may find yourself repeating them over and over. But this method quickly fizzles out, and soon you find you have forgotten what you learned. Instead, weave a whimsical tale around these words. Visualize a fire hydrant being lifted into the sky by balloons. The balloons are bursting due to batteries which are exploding inside giant barrels. The entire setup, batteries housed within barrels and balloons, is catapulted skywards by a gigantic board functioning like a seesaw. And this board is held up by a massive diamond. Feel the way these words solidify in your memory? An analogous strategy can come to your rescue while preparing for speeches. This is the renowned Loki method. First, identify the top 10 points you aim to discuss. Then, conjure up an image of a place or a room you are familiar with, and trace a path through it. Next, designate each of your talking points to a unique object or location in that room. For instance, your bedroom might symbolize your keynote. Finally, rehearse your speech using the mental map as your reference. With a memory that is honed to perfection, you are well on the road to mastering a new language, delivering captivating presentations, or just becoming an expert in your chosen field. Embrace the power of visualization and unlock your untapped potential. Rekindling your relationship with reading. Reading, it is not just a pastime. It is a stepping stone to success. Sure, not everyone considers it their cup of tea. It might seem daunting, mundane, or like a drain on your precious time. After a long, exhausting day, who does not prefer unwinding with a television show or a video game? But consider this. Science confirms that there is a direct correlation between reading prowess and life achievements. The sharper your reading skills, the brighter your chances of landing lucrative jobs or unlocking doors to unimaginable opportunities. There is more to it than you might think. Reading does not merely offer you knowledge, it forges a gym for your mind, triggering a multitude of mental exercises. It enhances your memory and amplifies your focus. So, if you have abandoned reading, in essence, you have ceased learning. Reading forms the bedrock of learning, and the beauty is you can enhance your skill at it. Pause for a moment and think, how quickly can you read? The average adult reads approximately 200 words per minute, no faster than a grade schooler. That is because the formal teaching of reading grinds to a halt around the 2nd to 5th grade. What causes someone to be a slow reader? The culprit is often subvocalization, the process of pronouncing each word in your mind as you read, limiting your reading speed. If you are a subvocalizer, your reading speed cannot surpass your speaking speed. But do not let despair grip you. Your mind holds the potential to soar far quicker. To mitigate subvocalization, experiment with counting aloud while reading. Maintain a steady rhythm of 1, 2, 3, as your eyes glide across the page. Sure, it is challenging to count and read simultaneously, but this practice will encourage your brain to reduce subvocalization. You will shift from pronouncing to seeing words. Master this ability, and reading will transform into a captivating movie unfolding before your eyes, rather than a speech echoing in your ears. An additional method to curtail subvocalization and shift to a more visual reading style involves using a pacer, like tracing your finger down the page as you read. It is a simple yet powerful technique, leveraging our eyes' innate tendency to follow moving objects. This visual pacer can supercharge your reading speed by a staggering 25 to 100%. However, remember these strategies bear fruit only when you invest time in practicing and reading. So, make it a priority to dedicate at least 30 minutes per day to the written word. With your newly acquired reading speed, you are ready to unlock the final piece of the puzzle, learning how to think more effectively. To enhance your problem-solving prowess, dare to venture into uncharted territories of thought. When the term genius echoes in your ears, who springs forth in your mind's eye? Is it Albert Einstein? Or Marie Curie, perhaps? Yet, the essence of genius is not confined solely to those blessed with towering IQs or exceptional mathematical skills. Intelligence, my friends, reveals itself in many forms. Consider the illustrious Venus Williams. In her own right, she is a genius, a master endowed with extraordinary body kinesthetic intelligence. In simple terms, she excels in orchestrating her physical self. To level up your problem solving, open your mind to a spectrum of novel and diverse thoughts. The quest to identify your unique brand of intelligence is but a stepping stone in honing sharper, more efficient thinking. A wealth of strategies awaits your discovery. For instance, dare to explore the unfamiliar terrain of distinct thought processes. Engage problems from an angle never before experienced by you, shattering your customary patterns of thought. The thinking hat technique can be your trusty guide. Picture an assortment of vibrantly colored hats at your disposal. As you dissect a problem, switch hats at will. Donning the red hat, it is time to let your emotions take the wheel. Should you opt for the green hat, let your creativity steer the course. Yet, there are moments when even the most avant-garde techniques may falter. Some problems call for a complete overhaul in your thinking framework, an exponential shift as opposed to a linear one. With exponential thinking, crisis management ceases to be your constant battleground. Instead, you hone in on the root cause of the issue and unleash your power there. A torchbearer of exponential thinking is Naveen Jain, a renowned innovator and proud recipient of the Albert Einstein Technology Medal. His brainchild, Viome, stands as a testament to his belief that chronic illness constitutes the world's paramount health crisis. Did Jain's company set out to discover treatments for these diseases? No, Jain chose a different path. Recognizing the profound influence of our gut microbes in processing food and how it affected our immune system, he saw a larger picture. Thus, Jain conceived of a tool to scrutinize an individual's gut microbiome. This device empowers people to enhance their health by selecting foods that harmonize best with their bodies. While you may not aspire to conquer grand challenges akin to those that Jain undertakes, embracing fresh modes of thinking will infuse your viewpoints with diverse perspectives. Without question, this diversity will amplify your capacity to achieve remarkable results. This concludes Limitless.